Welcome! And today we're solving a murder in Investigator, the case of the unconventional weapon. This game looked interesting. I think there's a total of 3 of them so far, and I think they're coming out with more, but it was a intriguing puzzle game. So, without further ado, let's begin. Music. Case. Clues. Suspects. Victim. Okay. Interesting. Can I close that? Oh, there it goes. Start! I'm sure glad you're here, Investigator, but I don't know if we need you tonight. Seems like a pretty open and shut case to me. Here, I'll put the details in your case file, see if you agree. McGuffin the Puffin, male, early 20s, found floating face down in his bathtub with his skull crushed. Background check didn't come up with anything besides a few speeding tickets. Pretty blameless guy, by all accounts. He worked part-time at a local Panda Express. I freaking love Panda Express. Expensive, but last time I went, they had good food. Open and shut cases are often the most deceptive of all. By the way, who's that with you? Allow me to introduce my latest sidekick. His name is Vanilla Chinchilla. I love this. I'm not your sidekick, Investigator. You know I'm only shadowing you for internship credits. Please allow my sidekick and I to inspect the crime scene. Right you are, sir. Alright. Let's begin, shall we? Looks like you missed something. Take a look at the bruises around the victim's neck. Strangulation marks. The formation of prints indicate claws. Doesn't prove me wrong. McGuffin could have been strangled afterwards. Either way, this is one stone-cold killer we're dealing with here. This is odd. Bits of quills floating in the toilet tank. We better collect it just in case. Broken quills. Pieces of quills were found within the toilet tank. As in, like... Certainly give them credit for an unconventional weapon. These things weigh a ton. The murder weapon. Cracked with the blood of the victim on it. If you hear thunder and lightning, by the way... Gonna turn that off for a second. If you hear thunder and lightning, you won't hear lightning, but if you hear thunder, it's because there is a massive storm that has just appeared around the area, so. Okay. We'll send the body off for forensic autopsy once you're done examining it, but it looks to me like the cause of death was repeated blunt trauma to multiple areas on the head. The weapon of choice indicates a crime of passion rather than a premeditated murder. Just one hit would have been enough, meaning whoever did this had a real vendetta. Crimes like these, it's always one person. A husband or wife. See, even your intern knows. In this case, of course, it's a girlfriend. All the same, I think I'll keep that in mind. Or an open mind. Feathers, so what? He's Puffin. Puffins have feathers. I know your night vision is better than your color vision, but puffins are black and white, and these are brown feathers. 2 feathers not matching the victim's coloration were found in the bathtub water. So we have quills and feathers, which is interesting. He never shies away from the search of evidence. In this case, however, anything pertinent has long since gone down the drain. Got a sinking feeling about this thing. Haha, very funny. Okay, so we got quills. This. These. This. I think we're good. Not seeing much else. Yeah. We're good. Alright. Neighbors confirm that no one's been in and out of the house since 6 p.m. the previous night, so the murderer has to be one of his roommates or his live-in girlfriend. Well, you know what they say about keeping your friends closer and your enemies closer. Quills, feathers. I assume this is the girlfriend. Please calm down, miss. I'm sorry, I know everyone's blaming me, but I swear I didn't do it. I was the one who called the police. Why would I do that if I were the killer? It's not a good question. Well, I mean, it is and it isn't to a certain extent. Miss, can you describe your movements this afternoon and evening? Hope you feel better soon. Oh, no, we questioned this woman. MacGuffin was feeling poorly, so he stayed in bed watching Netflix together all afternoon. At around 7, he said he was going to have a bath. When he wasn't back in bed by 9, I went to go check on him. I'm sorry? 2 hours in the bath? Okay. Let's be honest, you weren't not watching Netflix. You were simply scrolling, trying to find something. That's when I found him dead in the bathtub. I screamed and I called the police immediately. Thank you, miss. You've been very helpful. The victim's girlfriend for 4 months. MacGuffin was feeling poorly. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Hope you feel better soon. Let's talk to you. Mr. Yak. Could you describe the relationship with the victim? To tell you the truth, it was non-existent. I moved in here like a month ago. I found the room on Craigslist. I bet you're really regretting answering that ad now. Yeah, I'm gonna see about breaking the lease tomorrow. My mother always told me not to share a house with murderers. What an oddly specific lesson. Did you tell me if you heard anything between the hours of 3 p.m. and 9 p.m.? Let's see, I had dinner with in the living room at 5. Around 7, I headed to bed. That's when I saw MacGuffin in the— Y'all sleep so early. That's when I saw MacGuffin in the hallway, walking towards the bathroom, and said hello. My mother taught me to be polite. By 9, I was in bed reading 50 Shades of Hay when I heard the most blood-curdling scream from the bathroom. I rushed to find Throaty on the phone with the police. Okay. That's very helpful, thank you very much. Okay, I'm an almost total stranger who now regrets his decision to find roommates on Craigslist. You next. The borderline porcupine. Alright, listen up, you chumps. I'll tell you this just once, since it's obvious you couldn't pour water out of a boot if the instructions were written on the heel. That is a very good insult, and it's creative. I have not heard that one before. It was that minx Throaty. She's a coyote, not a minx. Shut up, shut up! I saw her. That stupid tramp did it. I saw her run crying from the bathroom earlier that evening. The only pity is she didn't off herself with that backstabbing jerk MacGuffin at the same time. Dang. There's history between you three. History, there's history, alright. That cheating broad. As for MacGuffin, well, I sure thought we used to be friends. That son of a— Okay. I'm gonna stop you right there for the sake of this game's E for everyone rating. Nice. So, you two were in a relationship. She cheated on you with your friend. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second there. I want a lawyer. I know my rights. I plead the 5th. Am I under arrest? No, calm down. I don't think we're gonna get any useful from him. So, I want to say that anyone who lawyers up that quickly is immediately suspicious, especially since he has the motive to do so, and we've got no time from him. But lawyering up doesn't always mean that you're the killer. A once friend of the victim, the cause of their falling out was a girl, claims he saw Throaty Coyote fleeing from the scene of the crime earlier in the day. Goodbye. Okay. It's just terrible. Horrible tragedy. Were you close with the victim? Yeah, I've known MacGuffin the Puffin since I was 16. We took pre-calc in high school together. Sorry to hear that. Can you tell me why anyone might have wanted to kill him? Yeah, I can tell you why. I think it was that good-for-nothing girlfriend of his. Okay, why in the world is everyone hating? To be honest. I mean, she isn't even employed, just a total bum. That's not a reason for her to be a killer. Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. Maybe grief is clouding my judgment and all. I just think she's a real shady character. I know I've heard the two of them fighting lately. Tell me where you were all day, if you heard any noise coming from the bathroom at any point. Yeah, of course, man. I have a final next week, so I was in my room studying until I went straight to bed at 8 p.m. I didn't hear a thing all day. Thank you for your help. Childhood friend of the victim ceased to be genuinely saddened by his death. That's all for now. Not as quite as open and shut as you thought, eh? Something's a bit off, it's true. Plus, that borderline porcupine is starting to look mighty suspicious. A jilted lover who kills the interloper and frames it on the wayward mistress. Yeah, I like it. You worry me sometimes. And that chicken's testimonial felt real forced, as if he just went into total denial mode. Odd that he never claimed to hear Throaty scream. Yeah, that was odd. And what crackpot theory do you have about the yak? Nah, that bloke seems pretty alright. In any case, I would now like to investigate the area for further evidence. Okay, I've turned the music down a little because I felt like it was a little loud. Okay, it's a really old picture of the porcupine and the coyote. They're holding hands. Guess they used to be pretty serious. Yeah, until she cheated. The heart is a fickle mistress indeed. What's this? It's written by the deceased. Dear Coyote, it pains me to do this, but here are 99 reasons why I need to break up with you. Oh. This is scorching hot. Good eye. Take that for evidence. A sword letter written by the late victim listing all the reasons why he wanted to break up. Note is addressed to MacGuffin. Dear MacGuffin, despite our longtime status as friends, I'm at the end of my rope. I really need that $15,000 that you borrowed from me several years ago. I've included a detailed invoice and interest rate below. It's from the chicken. Yeah, but... Okay, here's the problem with that. I know it's a lot. Never mix friendship and money. Yeah. I know it's a lot of money, but that is a brutal way to kill someone for 15 grand. Especially, like, lifelong friends. Like, I know they were friends, but that's intense, bro. If you've legit done that for 15,000. I think is that all evidence was? Why does the borderline porcupine hate you so much? We used to date. I managed to deduce that. We weren't just working out, so we just weren't working out, so I broke up with him. I guess he was more hung up on me than I thought, though, because he went totally crazy. Maybe I shouldn't have moved in and started seeing his roommate. Yeah, probably. Did you know about this breakup letter? Where did you find that? In a rubbish bin. Well, that's where it belongs, clearly. My MacGuffin would never break up with me, ever. The very idea. How dare you? Okay, so she's delusional. Besides, would a dame as good looking as me get broken up with? I think not. I'm the one who breaks up with others. Yeah, and she's a jerk. Fantastic. I feel like my heart's breaking into a million pieces. I want to crawl into bed and listen to Linkin Park for a year. Alright, yeah, alright. In your statement, why didn't you claim to hear Throaty scream? I must have just forgotten, that's all. Now that I think about it, I do remember her screaming. Can I change my statement? Maybe it's all three of them. It's too late, it's written down forever in my notebook now. I always forget to bring an eraser. You can't just paw through people's stuff. Actually, legally, we absolutely can, sir. Alright, I'll confess, things between me and MacGuffin and I have been a bit tense lately. I loved him like a brother, but he was terrible with money. Plus, he was letting the coyote stay totally rent-free in his room. That's just not cool. Are these your feathers? Where did you get those? I've been molting lately and my feathers just keep getting everywhere. Throaty keeps complaining that they're clogging the drains. Underwater mineralogy. Interesting. Why did you and the coyote separate? That scurvy tart. Please, just the facts. Facts. There's nothing remotely factual or logical about that woman's heart. She left me saying she'd met someone else. Little did I know it was for a man who I used to once call a brother. She also told me I shouted too much. Me. Uh-huh. I think I've gone slightly deaf in my left ear. Okay, do you know the chicken? We knew each other through MacGuffin, but we weren't really friends or anything. He seemed kind of stuffy, and that's all you're getting out of me. Okay. Gotta give your statement. No. How about now? No? Nice weather we've been having lately. Still nothing? Alright. Huh. Afraid wait, hello. I'm afraid you'll find the house empty of helpful clues pertaining to me. As an apology, might I offer you a glass of water instead? You'll understand that we have to look anyway. Of course. Take that sip of water, though. What's your impression of your roommates in the short time you've known them? Found the borderline porcupine to be quite objectionable. He picks arguments at the drop of a hat. I avoid all discourse with him. The throaty coyote I can converse with civilly. However, we have very little in common, and I've always been a bit of a gruff bachelor. I have no real impression of the stricken chicken or the late MacGuffin. They were both retiring fellows and kept to themselves, as my mother always says gentlemen should. Thanks. Where are you thinking of moving to next? Our tiny house. They're all the rage lately. I hate to break it to you, but you might not be able to fit into one. Have a nice day. Yes? The autopsy and the background checks have just come back. They check out except for two. The throaty coyote has some charges for petty theft and shoplifting. Okay. The porcupine. The yak. The pack yak has been previously arrested on suspicion of murdering a series of roommates. He's been previously accused of murder. What? Yes, although he was acquitted. On the autopsy, the cause of death is listed as strangulation instead of blunt force trauma, so you were on the money there. But look, this is just the strangest thing. The toxicology report indicates his blood was full of poison. Holy Mother of Mary. Like the water you were offered. Suffered from poison, strangulation, drowning, and blunt force trauma. That is a lot of anger. Oh my gosh. But the strangulation was probably from... Did everyone do it? Dang! Because there were claws, right? Please gather everyone. It's almost time for the part where I over-dramatically point my finger at the killer. Sure. I've called you all here for a very important reason. This is the part where I over-dramatically point my finger at the killer. Telling you it wasn't me. Telling you it was her. The vanilla chinchilla. I'm going to give you a chance to show off all you've learned. Who was the dastardly murderer? Yo. Okay. Hold on. Silence the music. Give me the case files. Here's the thing. Strangulation marks indicate claws, right? So that would point to you or you and not you. But you've been arrested on previously, or you've been accused of murder previously, but you've been acquitted. There were quills and feathers. This says anger, the breakup letter, she's insane. But poison and you offered water. Yeah. It's always the one you don't suspect. I don't know if you'd murder someone. You're nuts. Maybe a fight, but no. Nearly right. In fact, however, it was all of them. So I was right? It was literally everybody? What? Little did you know, each of you independently conspired to murder MacGuffin. The first was the pack yak, otherwise known as the serial killer, the Ricken Bison. The bison poisoned MacGuffin earlier that day. As a result, MacGuffin fell unconscious in his bath. There's the drowning. Second killer was the coyote. After MacGuffin left for his bath, you went snooping and found the breakup letter in his room. Consumed by rage, you stormed to the bathroom and strangled him where he lay in his weakened state. He could hardly put up a fight, so he was So, poison, drowning, strangulation. To be honest, I thought the strangulation was him, but it makes more sense that he bashed him over the head. The third was the chicken. You walked in on the carnage after Throaty had fled. MacGuffin was still barely alive. You could have saved him. Instead, you coldly condemned him to his fate by holding his head underwater. You drowned him. So poison, strangulation, drowning. Alright. As for you, the porculain, upon finding MacGuffin passed out in the shower, you remembered having seen that Throaty run crying from the bathroom. Evilly, you decided to frame her for the crime, bashing the victim's head into a pulp. However, you failed to notice MacGuffin was already dead. Your act was the most brutal, yet the most impotent. Well. I must admit, Investigator, I'm impressed. Your powers of deduction are extraordinary. Why, thank you. Before you take us away, it's my turn to ask you one last question. Why would I only poison MacGuffin when I could poison the entire house? I knew it. A glass of water! No! Upper hand, the Rickon Bison Investigator, I'm calling an ambulance. It's too late. You're a real scumbag, Bison. I don't think it is too late. The man that he poisoned before was chilling for 2 hours. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Take him away, boys. I won't be sorry to be done with this case. An entire household was real toxic. Haha, funny. He did it for the internship credits. Special thanks to Jeff Ryder and Kieran. Thanks for playing. Thank you for making. The audio was great. So yeah. Alright. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. That was really cool. And I might actually play the rest of them, because that was really fun. Yeah. No notes. That was good stuff. It was short. It was sweet. It was nice. It was well done. It was a little surprising at the end, though. I mean, I think I said something about it being all of them at some point. I don't know. But, yeah, that was cool. Good game. So, thank you for sitting down, thank you for watching, and thank you for hopefully enjoying it as much as I did, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. R.I.P. the little chinchilla. Bye.